Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Yep, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said inflation looks like it's going to be worse and it's going to last a lot longer than expected. And then the president said some things in the last couple of days that I think they're connected, and we're going to get into that here in just a minute. Other things too. You know how it is when you guys watch this channel. You just never know. It's just a mixed bag. It's like going to a flea market. You just never know what you're going to find. It's just a little bit of everything. I do want to say a couple of things about the channel. Have people often saying, well, what happens if you get banned, or what happens if YouTube shuts people like you down? Well, I've kind of got a backup plan for that. And I have two alternative channels on other platforms. And one is on a website called Odyssey, OYDSEE.com. And then another one is on Rumble, and I will leave links to both of those below. Now, I haven't been posting a lot on either one of them because I've had internet problems that you probably are aware of if you've watched the last few days. But now that that's taken care of, I'll be able to post some stuff over there. Now, the one on Odyssey, it's also a backup channel to this because one of the things that they offer is that I can connect it to my YouTube channel. So every video that I post on YouTube, it automatically makes a duplicate over there. So you can watch all of my regular content over there on Odyssey also. And then Rumble isn't like that. I can just post whatever. I can post whatever on Odyssey also. And so I'll be working on some videos today and the next few days to put up over there. And then also along with those two sites, I also have a Patreon channel. And that's just a little bit more private, completely different content. You see a little bit more. It's just, I try to make it more like we were just sitting down having a cup of coffee or something together. That's what Patreon is. And it's only $1 to get your foot in the door a month. So anyways, I just thought I would mention that. I'll leave links to all those in the description below. That way, if you wake up one day and YouTube's gone or they've banned a bunch of us, you can still go over to one of those platforms and watch me there. So, well, I'll put it up here. Yes, Jerome Powell, Fed chairman, said, this inflation stuff, it looks like it's going to get a little worse. And it looks like it's going to be here longer than expected. If you remember back a few months ago, they were saying, don't worry about the inflation. It's just transitionary. It's just a little blip. The economy's starting to get fired back up again, and so there's going to be a little bit of inflation, but it's okay. And of course, many of us said that that's just, bollocks. But here, now they're saying, you know what? I do believe that this inflation is going to last a little bit longer. And he's not been the only one that said this. And they're also saying that the inflation, well, he said this also, that, it's because of the supply chain problems. But then now that we're looking like that we're going to start being locked down more, at least it's happening in multiple places now. Numerous cities are putting, the little mandates for wearing these things, and they're making more restrictions. And I'll probably make a video on that I'll put on Rumble and Odyssey, talking more in depth on that because I have the freedom to say what I want over there. But with that kind of stuff starting to happen again, well, and we've certainly not recovered from the first go around. The supply chain is certainly not recovered at all. How much more is it going to be affected by another round of limitations, lockdowns, mandates, things like that we're seeing happen all over the country? There's been numerous businesses that's put mandates on their employees that they are requiring now that they get the thing, or they can't work there anymore. Things are starting to change rapidly. Another thing that I want to mention with all this, the president said a couple of days ago, and I mentioned this in yesterday's video. You know how he kind of rambles on and mumbles and stuff. And he was talking about cyber attacks. And he said that he believed that these cyber attacks would lead to a physical war. A physical war, an actual shooting war with an adversary. Now, Why do I say both of these things? What the Fed chair said and what the president said. It's because any nation does this, but especially in the United States, but all nations do this. When the economy starts getting really bad, what's the one thing that jumpstarts an economy? War. War jumpstarts an economy. War, many, many times, whether it's been specifically used or it just happens that way, it has pulled a nation out of economic collapse. And here we are as a country going through all these other things that we talk about on a daily basis, things that are kind of scary, things that are very worrisome for us. And then we're also dealing with, on top of all that, we're dealing with an economy that is just on the brink of collapsing. Such an interesting coincidence that as we see our economy starting to show more and more of its true cracks and start to weaken, that now we're getting this almost a heads up that you do know if these cyber attacks that we've told you for months now, that the cyber attacks are going to get worse. You know, the FBI director said that a few months ago. They are going to get worse. And there's going to be more and more of them. And then we've got the president saying that he believes it's going to lead us into a physical hot war. Is that them kind of telling us something? A lot of people believe that these elites have their own little code of honor kind of thing, that they believe that they need to kind of tip their hand at what they're doing to the people before they do it. I'm not saying that's true or not, but it's quite interesting that this is all kind of playing out. We'll see in the near future how it plays out, and if we end up going to war with anyone. There's all kinds of possibilities. There's been the drum beats of war and saber rattling going on for months now between us and China and Russia and, you know, Taiwan and Hong Kong and Iran and just on and on and on, you know, North Korea. So you could just kind of pick any one place, and it could be all of them. And I would say if any of the big nations get involved, it will be more like a global war. So this is just one more thing on your, you know, apocalypse bingo card to put aside and to say, there's one more thing I need to kind of prepare for, keep in mind what's happening, so that I can prepare myself mentally, physically, and spiritually. Because all this stuff that's going on, that's really the only way that we're going to make it through this, is doing those three things. We live in strange times. Let me put it that way. They're strange. You've got a group of people, a portion of our population, that is living their lives as if nothing's wrong. Everything's just normal. We just go to work, play on Facebook, watch a game, go to the store, you know. It's normal, right? Well, things have changed a little bit, but it's still pretty normal. And then you've got the people, a portion of our population that they're just, whatever they're told to do by the powers, they'll do it. And then you've got another portion of the people that seems to be resisting all this, and they're trying to wake people up to this. And all along, there is a growing movement in this nation to demonize that portion of people, to demonize them, and to separate them from the rest of the nation, and to consider them outcasts, and even to the point of being called terrorist, which has been done a lot lately. A lot of blame has been put on this segment of society. Those of us that might be conservative or Christian or gun-toting or, not really trusting of government, kind of fall into that segment. So all this stuff that's happening, it's creating a big divide. And right now we have, like I said, new information on the inflation. Which we all knew this. We all knew that inflation was getting bad, and the inflation is worse than the numbers that they put out. There's too much reputable information out there to make me believe otherwise. all along while the president is saying, well, the spending bills actually help inflation. Printing of more money, spending of more money, that helps inflation, right? I mean, that's just basic economics. You guys know that, right? I mean, come on. Right. Things are starting to get kind of crazy. And that's kind of been a going theme the last several videos. Prices are going up. Things are becoming more expensive. Things are becoming harder to get. This divide amongst Americans is becoming deeper and deeper. And I have kind of a theory as to what's going on, at least in one part of it, dealing with the divide and this push for more fear and panic over the health crisis. I have an idea of where it's leading, and I won't tell it on YouTube because they won't like me talking like that. So it will be on one of the other alternative channels that I've previously mentioned in this video. Inflation's not a good thing. Hyperinflation is a really bad thing. If you don't understand what hyperinflation is or how bad it could be, I suggest you do some research into nations that are currently dealing with it and nations that have dealt with it in the past. It will bring a country to its knees faster than just about anything. Meaning that it doesn't matter whether the stores have stuff in the shelves or not. It doesn't matter if the shipping lines are being worked and that there's people working them and they're unloading stuff. It doesn't matter if the trucking companies are running. It doesn't matter if the utility companies still work. None of that matters because your money, well, it doesn't pay for any of it because you have no money. You're poor. You're an outcast. You have nothing because now everything that you've put your life into, all this currency that we put in our bank accounts and that we invest into stocks and that we put into retirement plans, well, now it's not even worth enough to be used as toilet paper. It's a bad thing if that happens. And if this ship doesn't turn around, and there are many that I have read recently that believes that we're past the point of no return. I'm not saying that we are. We seem to be headed down that direction. Oh, I know, the stock market's doing good. Oh, the stock market's always doing good. It's always breaking records. It means nothing, folks. The stock market means nothing. Yes, there's a lot of people, you or some of them, that play the stock market, or you have investments in the stock market, or you have retirement plans in the stock market. But the vast majority of the money that goes on in the stock market is all from the elites. They're making money off of it. And so I believe, and many others, and people that are much more expert than I am, believe that the only reason the stock market is as high as it is right now and doing as well as it's been through all this turmoil is because the top 1%, the top 3%, the top 5%, whatever, they're trying to milk it for all it's worth because they see where it's headed. They see that there's an end in sight, and it's not a good end. They see a crash in sight, and so they're just trying to fill their pockets as long as they can, and then, hoping that they can jump off ship just in time before it starts sinking. That's why the stock market's doing so well. Especially when you compare it to every other aspect of our economy that's doing really horribly. The housing market is doing horribly. Everything, it's doing awful. Cars are inflated, fuel is inflated, commodities, food, everything, it's all inflated. But the stock market, oh, you can make a lot of money there. Don't be sucked into that too much, folks. You can make money off of it, that's fine, but don't get too sucked into it. I think the Fed chairman, the president, and many other people, I think they're kind of tipping their hat, showing us their hand, saying this is what's getting ready to happen. Wake up, not necessarily because they care about us, but so that they can say, well, we did our job. We told them all what was going to happen, and now here it is. it'll be a war of biblical proportions if we end up going to war with Russia and China and Iran and North Korea and all that kind of stuff, because China and Russia have been building their forces at a very speedy rate, whereas on the other hand, the United States is like, we want to have a gentle force. I saw the other day an interview with someone in the military, and I can't remember who, or maybe it was a congressman. That's correct. It was a congressman, and he was saying that the Navy is going through ships. They're breaking down. The ships in the Navy are breaking down about one every 16 months. And when I'm saying breaking down, I mean to the point that they're not usable anymore, beyond repair. Their ships are falling apart because, well, they've just not been maintained. And we have a fighting force more and more that's, well, not so much of a fighting force. And I'm not here to poo-poo veterans or poo-poo anyone that's currently in the military. There's certainly a lot of good ones still, but things have changed in the military. And they're more concerned with being tolerant and woke and all-inclusive of everyone's, color and gender identity and all this other kind of stuff than they are with actually teaching soldiers and sailors and airmen and Marines how to go fight. So, if in fact it's a prediction from the president and the Fed chairman, it could be a pretty nasty one. And if it's one that leads us into, any type of end time stuff, it will be a nasty one. So once again, here I am saying, get yourselves prepared, get your house in order, prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually, because with all the random things that's happening, they're not random, they are controlled. Once it all starts coming together, things are gonna be kind of nasty for a while, I believe. So start getting yourselves prepared if you haven't already, and if you are, continue to do so. All right, folks, thank you all for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.